All right, you're welcome back to the show. The topic this morning is 2023 International Day for Education. Of course, you know that every 24th of January, it's the International Day for Education around the world. This is a day that was chosen by the UN General Assembly to highlight the role of education towards peace and development. Of course, that's why we are here today to talk about that education, how important it is, and how veritable a tool it is for development in any society. My name is Chidimma Oranwa, and I have my colleague here with me this morning as a co-anchor, Ajulu.
Divine, good morning.
Ajulu, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Well, with the resource persons we have here, I'm sure to learn something today. So for those people that are education savvy, please, just get your pen and paper. There's a whole lot you learn.
How important is education to you first?
Education is the key to it. In fact, human existence all depends on education. The fact that we are seated here and somebody in Zamfara, maybe Sierra Leone is watching us is all about education.
All right.
So that's where we are definitely going to be doing this morning.
Okay. Quickly, let's introduce our guest this morning. We have Dr. Vera Nkirunwa Dinobi, an educationist and former senior lecturer in the Department of Guidance and Counseling, Faculty of Education in Anambra University. Okay, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right, we also have with us Professor Nkechi Ikejugu, the Professor in Educational Management and Policy. She is a former Dean of Faculty of Education, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, talking about education and how important it is. Of course, we said that it's important for development in any given society. Now, looking at Nigeria as a nation, how would you place education when it comes to Nigeria, the kind of priority that is being given when you also consider how much is being doled out for education when we are talking about our budget for the year?
Okay. In Nigeria, first of all, education is the key to development, just like you rightly said. Mm-hmm. And Nigeria is yet to be among the developed nations. And if you look at the way we price education in Nigeria, you will quickly see the reason why we are not, listed among the developed nations, because education is key to success and development in every nation. It is when you acquire knowledge and you put it into practice and one becomes functional in the society. Without education, the functionality of the individual becomes, has a question mark. Yeah.
Okay.
How can you rate education? We're talking about Nigeria now. How can you rate education in Anambra State, bearing in mind the success Anambra students have recorded in international competitions? Yeah.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to appreciate our governor, Mr. Charles, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, for the emphasis on education. During the transition committee, he made it very clear that education is his priority. And as soon as we came on board, he recruited 5,000 teachers. So before then, you can see Anambra students winning awards everywhere. Even the best principal of the year, the best administrator of the year.
As in nationwide?
Nationwide. Is from Anambra. It's the principal of Abbott Girls. And she was my student. I supervised her PhD in UNIZIC. And she came first in whole Nigeria. And took the best student of the year from Anambra. So you can see education, Anambra people are doing great in education, despite the lean resources available.
So you're saying that even when the federal government is falling short in meeting educational standards in budget allocation,
yes,
the state within that same government is striving.
Exactly. That's what I mean. You know, the UNESCO requirement is 26% budgetary allocation should be given to education. But in Nigeria, we're not up to 4%. They don't give us up to 4% in education. But despite that, in my state, Anambra, you see the governor trying to do what he can to make sure that we thrive in education. That's why we're having so much successes, both in primary, secondary, and tertiary education.
The challenges or the hurdles that are being faced by educationists in the country all over, not just Anambra, because we have established that we are thriving in Anambra State, in Nigeria. Who are we going to lay the blames on? Is it the leaders, the policymakers, the stakeholders, or the educationists themselves? Does it mean that they are now pushing more?
The educationists, they are trying their best. Just like my prof said here, the governor of Anambra State is an educationist. He's a teacher. He's a teacher, and that is why he is really pushing to take education in Anambra State to a higher level, more than what it used to be. He wants to take it to another level where human capital development will be productive, and it will at home, and it will be exportable abroad. So the stakeholders, most of them are trying to see if our educational system will come to a certain standard. But when you look at the funding, I think funding is the major problem. The priority the nation at the center is giving to education is the most number one in the challenges facing education to thrive all over the nation. That's what I can say. We educationists, we are trying. And you can see what we've been going through as far as pushing forward is concerned. The ASU members are owed 8 months' salary, yet they are in school. They are trying to graduate students. Despite that, they want to bring out quality in the system. But maybe the leaders, I don't know, they are yet to see the importance of giving education a great priority.
I think that should be the responsibility of you educationists to make our leaders understand the importance of education. And secondly, you were talking about 5,000 teachers being recruited by Anambra State at the inception of this government. Please, what were the criteria for recruitment?
Thank you very much. Before we came on board, I want to appreciate Honorable Commissioner for Education. She went through so many hurdles with our children. They did the first exam, they did the second exam, they did the third exam, and had an interview before she came out with 8,000 teachers who are qualified. Then Governor asked us to select 5,000, and we brought out the criteria: 40% merit, core subject 20%, technical subject 10%, local government 20%, educational disadvantaged local government 10%.
That's a total of 100%.
100%. So that's what we looked at when we were selecting the 5,000. Those who had very high marks were on the merit list: 90, 70, 80. They came under the merit list. And then we now looked at, there are so many disadvantaged states, like Aya Melum, local government, like Aya Melum, Utuocha side, or Baru side. Those people are not, because of the flood. So we looked at them specifically. We also looked at core subjects. The core compulsory, like English language, maths, technical subjects, and then civic education. Those who had it and passed, they had a better option.
What was the cutoff?
55.5% was the cutoff. And there are so many subjects we did not consider at all, even if you like, half 100%, because they are not teaching subjects. Okay. They are not being taught in secondary school.
Can you give us?
Example is business administration, mass communication, philosophy, anthropology, sociology, and so many subjects like that. Subjects that are not being taught in secondary school were not considered.
So some people that passed were probably
These subjects,
disqualified
yes.
because these were the subjects they
Did,
majored in.
yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for giving us this criteria. It's quite important because I know a whole lot of people that have been complaining that they came and wrote the test and got very high mark, but at the end of the day, they were not called for the employment. So that answers the question why some people were not actually shortlisted at the end of the day. Or are there other things that could actually be maybe the factor that some people came, wrote, and got very high mark, but they weren't shortlisted? Are there other things apart from not having the core teaching subject, not studying core teaching subject? 8,000,
And
okay?
we're asked to choose 5,000. So there are still 3,000 who passed, who were not taken,
Okay.
based on approval given to us.
Okay, that's a good one. Now, coming back to this today, because we are commemorating World Education Day, and the theme for this year is to invest in people and prioritizing education. Now, looking at this recruitment of 5,000 teachers, how can we relate it? You see that they are kind of related, investing in people. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, sure. Recruiting 5,000 teachers being the first thing the governor did when he got on board is investing in people. Because if you want to get it right, human capital development is very, very important. It's when you develop people, then the people will now use what they've got to develop the society. So investing in people is one of the major reasons why the governor took that bold step of getting quality 5,000 teachers. He did it on merit, just like my prof has said. It's on merit. We had criteria. It is no longer, I know somebody, then you'll be employed. No. He came on board and said, as a teacher, as an educationist, we must get it right at the basic education level. And if we must get it right, we must tell the people that had skills and techniques, to impart the correct knowledge to the children and the pupils and the students who will now be pushed into the society to contribute their own quota to the development of the state and Nigeria as a whole.
Yeah. You said everything had to do with merit, but we were hearing feelers, you understand, as broadcasters, that there were people that didn't even have qualification that got the appointments, you understand? And they were still, when you said you had 8,000 people and 5,000, I don't know, you understand the criteria you said you used, but there are people that came and said they wrote the exam, they met the cutoff, they had those qualifications, and yet they were not chosen. And then some other people are saying that there are people that didn't even merit writing the exam, and they got. So how do you guys juxtapose these two, allegations, so to say?
I want to tell Anambrarians that we did our best, because there was something the governor told us. He said that he wants Anambra, we had a son of nobody, job on merit, because he merited it. He said in the olden days, things were done on merit. That in fact, he pleaded with us that even if somebody comes and say that this is governor's list, that it is a lie, we should not take anybody based on a list. What of the poor children from poor homes who don't have anybody? That was why I told you about a family that we caught so many people up who passed the exams and who did excellently well. We called them to come and pick up their letters, especially those in core subjects that we need, like this computer science is also one of the areas we need. So when we see such marks, we call the people, we pursue them, come and take.
I want to ask something. Before you asked people to come and write the exams, did you actually specify that these are the subjects that you needed teachers
I want to
on?
tell you that we didn't meet that. The Commissioner for Education did it before we came on board. That process had already finished before we were employed.
So yours was just to
Pick.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, so we didn't know the processes.
Okay.
So she suffered much because she passed through a lot of processes before she came up with this. So we came and the list was handed over to us. Three of us, we chose the criteria together.
Okay.
And then we
But as in this criteria you chose, was it by sampling the deficiencies in schools in Anambra State?
Yes.
You guys are right, or you just
No,
According to need.
According to need. We'd have teacher need. They were asked to submit their needs.
Okay.
And we posted these teachers based on school needs, you know. So that's what we did.
So now, if Anambra State invests in 5,000 teachers to train and retrain 5,000 teachers, can you maintain that class, that 5,000, so that other states wouldn't come and poach them for the hard labor you guys have done? Is there any... so because you can poach and some other person is willing to pay higher than what you're paying here, and then you've trained and the person leaves and goes elsewhere. Is there any reason or any criteria to make sure that this 5,000 that you guys have trained remain in Anambra State?
I just want to tell you that already Anambra State standard is very attractive. Do you know that day they came to take their letter, we gave them 5,000 transport. Governor approved that we should give them newly recruited 5,000 naira for transport. They resumed work around 10th of December and they were paid December salary. They were also paid bonus December. Already Anambra is high. There's no governor who can do it. It's not easy.
Within Nigeria?
Nobody. No governor can try it. We are coming for the first time and we give you 5,000 to take transport. Then within 10 days or 12 days, you get your alert. Then you get no. This is supersonic. No governor can try it.
Okay. That's a good one. Now you made mention of having 8,000 people that actually qualified, but you were asked to pick only 5,000. Do you have any supplementary, provision for those maybe to, still bring them in? Because of course they made it to the final. It's just that, well, unfortunately, you have to pick just 5,000 people.
The approval was 5,000. So once you are alive, you will have hoping and believing that Anambra State will increase. And I'm sure if it increases, and Mr. Governor, being a very humane and a teacher, I believe he will do something, but we will not guarantee it at the moment. Yeah, because of the lean resources. He has already done this despite the lean resources, because he wants to invest in education in Anambra State to get what he wants. So talking about supplementary, we have hope, and anything that will come up, it is those people that are in that list that will still fall back on them.
Okay.
The list is there. It's even in the air because we uploaded it. Everybody saw it. So that's the most we can say on that supplementary.
Okay, now another question I want to ask is, just like he mentioned earlier, these 5,000 teachers that we are recruited now, have they really been, in the service like that? If another administration come, they're not going to say, no, you're being recruited by this particular administration. Because we saw something that happened. Adeleke actually sacking about 1,500 teachers that were recruited by his predecessor. So are they now, footed, like they are not going anywhere? They are teachers in Anambra State at Service Commission.
I want to say something. Many governors don't recruit teachers when they come on board. They wait until the last day they are leaving. Maybe last 6 months they will employ. So that is the problem. But our governor, this is his first year, and he recruited 5,000. And they will be on here for the next 4 years with him.
Sure.
So they're not going anywhere again. Nobody will send them away. And I want to tell you that many teachers are retiring this year. We have about 500 and something teachers retiring, going back. from secondary school, and I think it's applicable in primary school.
Sure.
So we're losing a lot of teachers, you know. So I don't think anybody, any sane person, will not like the system to collapse.
Well,
Sure. I want to add to that.
okay, please do.
Just like she said, when somebody has been in the system, by the time the next governor comes, these people must have been confirmed. Their appointment must have been confirmed, because it's normally 2 years. Your appointment is confirmed. And once the appointment is confirmed, you can't drive the person away and terminate the appointment. So they'll be there.
They are grounded.
Yes.
They are not going anywhere. But they are the full-fledged teachers.
Yes, they are not going
There
anywhere.
are instances, we are all in Nigeria, there are instances where new administration comes in and now tell the educational system that what you have is half-baked teachers, and they are taking away a large chunk to get in new. It has happened, even in northern Nigeria. We see these things, we read them up in the papers. You understand? Now you said 5,000 came in, newly trained. You understand? And now like 500 is going. You understand? So when you have 5,000 coming in, you understand? Does that mean there was a clot, as in a loss in the education, in teachers recruitment in Anambra State? A huge number to pump into just primary, tertiary institutions.
No, just primary and secondary.
Primary and secondary. There was a large portion that was in that area.
I want to say the ratio is 1:6. That is what UNESCO recommends. I think it's 1 to 30. 1 teacher pupils of students for secondary school. And it's for primary too. The same thing. But I want to tell you, before this recruitment, you enter a class, 72 students, 1 teacher. 90 students, 1 teacher. And the teacher will teach from A to Z. And you see teachers dying. So it is a system. And we appreciate him, and we want to. These people that are crying, in fact, he has asked us to collect the names of those who passed very well in course subjects. So maybe after, he may decide to approve it. We don't know yet. We know that something good.
What are the criteria you use to post them in different schools or villages and communities? Because I've had some people coming up to tell that the way they were posted, they don't really like the place and all that. So were there criteria for you to post them to different schools?
There's a criteria. We posted them according to their local government areas and their towns. In fact, I think that started when we started teaching in 1988. I was living in Onitsha with my husband with 1 child, and I was posted to Norwa Girls Secondary School, which is not even at the center of the town. When you get to the center of the town, you need to enter bike to go down to Norwa Girls. And I was going there for close to 2 years before I got a transfer to Onitsha. So that has been the system, the criteria to post people in their different local governments and towns. Because I cannot come from Idemili South, for example, and you go and post me to Omo Ayamelum. I will not know the terrain. So the idea is, if you post that person there, because the schools in the villages are lacking teachers. And the idea, the aim of this employment is to fill the gaps. And if we don't send teachers to those villages, the aim is defeated. So to get it right, you now post people from that area. They know how to go there. The place will be friendly to them. So that's the idea.
Okay.
Posted to your area where you are born. The neighbors, your brothers, they know you. If you decide to play trancy, Ndobodo will go to you, go to your father. Because you are there. You are among them. So it will help the system a lot. You cannot cheat. You cannot do so many things that are not right. Because the villagers know you and know your father, know your grandfather self. You know, they will even bring you to town union meeting. Come and answer. So that we decided to post them to their villages.
Well, good enough we have, let's say, government school educators in our midst. I don't know if you guys can pass this next question I'm about to ask to the authorities that matter. The proliferation of private schools and government schools. I don't understand. Is there nobody to check? Some of these so-called private schools are nothing. They are nothing. They don't even have a standard as compared to the government school. But still, people still prefer to take their kids to these unglorified secondary schools. What do you think you guys can do in order to bridge the gap? I went to a public school and I turned out well. But my children are not in a public school because I fear that they won't turn out well. Please, what can you guys do to bridge the gap and make these public schools much more attractive like the private schools?
Thank you very much. I want to tell you, one of the reasons why people run away from public school is because we don't encourage cheating, examination malpractice. You must have...
about that in the elementary aspect of it.
I'm talking about secondary schools.
You start from elementary, then we'll now get to secondary.
Just start from where you're secondary. You still get to that. Go ahead.
I want to tell you, have you heard about miracle centers before?
Yeah.
For secondary school, where they ride away.
So, there are a lot of cheating go on in these private schools. So, and in public school, we don't allow that. We put our feet down and say that they will not cheat. So they run to that place. Then coming to, talk about primary.
Yeah, the same happens in primary.
So in primary school,
there's some malpractice. Yes, the parents will collaborate with the teachers. The proprietors, what they are interested is that the children, they are passing very well. And they will mandate the teachers to help those children to pass. In fact, they follow them to common entrance center and go there to tell them whatever, so that maybe answers, so that they will do very well. They do all this malpractice in private school because their main aim is to make money. Their main aim is not to churn out, quality children, quality pupils that are going into the secondary. They are only interested in the money. Once the parents see that in this school they pass common entrance very well, that, they will be sending their children to the school.
Actually help buttress the point he was trying to make. I mean, it has been alleged that some teachers in the public schools that they don't really teach well. It's not as if they are not qualified. Of course they are qualified, but it has been alleged that some of them don't go to school. They don't go to classes. They don't teach the kids very well. And because we have large numbers of students most of the time in a classroom, some don't even know their students or their pupils by name. And that's one of the issues. Some people have said that's because of that, they're not going to take their children to public school. That's number one. Now you've recruited 5,000 teachers. So how do you ensure that these teachers recruited, especially those people that have been posted in riverine areas, those hard-to-reach areas, how do you ensure that they go to school every day and fulfill their responsibilities and do their job very well?
Thank you very much. We have supervision team. Myself, I am among the supervision team. Every morning, from zones, from local government, we move around the school. And let me tell you, the principals, they know that if I come on the spot check and discover that teachers are not in the classroom, of course the principal will be demoted. What are you doing? How can you? So things are no longer the same. They already know that things are happening. So people are on their toes, running up and down. So if it were happening before, it can happen in this administration. Because already, like you know, some of them will come to us. The place you posted us is too far. Give me my letter I gave to you. I've collected two people. If you don't want to go, give us the letter. We give to those who want to go. So the same thing is applicable. If we discover that you're not going to the classroom, we take your employment letter and put others who are interested. Many people want to teach. So it is no longer business as usual. You either teach, do the work for which you're employed, or you forfeit your job. And I know with this type of integrated supervision we are doing now, they can't run away. They can't afford to play with our children, because these children are very important to us. And already we saw what they are doing well before we came on board. So we want them to do very, very well more. So teachers cannot do that rubbish this time. Thank you.
Well, it's good to know that teachers cannot do like they used to do in private school. Honestly speaking, I would still want a situation whereby Anambarians, people seeking political office, will be proud to have their children in these government-funded schools. If the government is paying attention into building the future of Anambarians through the primary schools, the secondary schools, I see no reason why we wouldn't be proud to send our kids to that area. So apart from teaching is not just the only thing the child needs to grow in order to be a good person or to be better for the society. There are other areas, you understand? Do you guys have counselor and stuff like that guide children, you understand? And the use of library, because most of the private schools have libraries. When you go to public school, most of all these facilities that encourages reading, you understand, you don't find them there. This 5,000 recruitment, is there going to be funding that will back it up to give the children the necessary environment in order to be great, would I say, citizens for the future?
Yeah, we are on course. For example, I'm a guidance counselor by training, by profession. So when I got this appointment, I said to myself, counseling in the primary school will have a new shape this time. And we have already started. We have already started because in the primary schools, there are few or counseling is either not there or very skeletally done. So, but now we have put in place measures to make all the teachers that read guidance and counseling to start practicing, even though there are, because they will give the reason that there are no teachers, and you are talking about guidance counselor to stay and be counseling the students. So even if there are less teachers, these trained counselors will be giving their services. They will be giving their services, and we're on that. We are about to carry out career convention where children will be exposed to different careers. This time we are concentrating on things they will do with their hands, like getting a shoe cobbler, getting a dressmaker, and using hand to construct things that that will be used, so that when these children, even when they graduate at primary school, if they can't even go to secondary school, they can be knitting clothes or doing something that will give them money. It has been happening in the olden days. So that is where we are going, and that is what our governor wants to achieve. He wants to produce students or pupils that will come out and be relevant and fend for themselves, no matter how the level of basic education from which they are coming from. So we are on course. We are doing that.
So one step at a time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
There's something else I want to add. There's this thing that governor has introduced already. Public-private community participation. Public-private community participation in education.
That's PPCC.
PPCP.
Okay.
Participation. Public-private community participation.
Okay, PPCP.
It means community allowed to come into education, to participate.
How?
Individuals are allowed. There's a nanny model.
Okay,
How do
yes,
they come?
yes. Building infrastructures.
Building infrastructure.
Giving
You
scholarships.
know about nanny
Yes,
model.
yes.
Building schools, giving scholarship, bringing facilities, even coming around to talk to the children. So it is now on course.
Okay.
And many individuals who are rich, who want to, they're coming in to participate. So I'm so sure that with time, this, because we have a problem of facilities, infrastructure, dilapidation, gross dilapidation in the system. So with these people coming in, they will help the government and our schools will be better.
All right, let's go for a street walk because we have people that we interviewed on the street concerning the topic we're exploring this morning, and let's hear what they have to say.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the governor for employing these teachers, to increasing their teaching strength to 5,000. Well, the expectation from these teachers is that they are supposed to do their work as supposed. The parents are expecting them to put in their best so that the children, the students, the children, it should be reflected in the children. So we are expecting more work for the teachers.
Currently, the state government employed about 5,000, over 5,000 teachers into the school system. The Anambra people expect the education system to be standard now. No lacuna of teachers teaching various subjects. So in the education system, we will be seeing more of a standard teaching techniques because most of those people employed are experienced and some have, most of them are also qualified to be in the educational sector.
We are expecting them to be professional in their approach, to make sure that everything that the Anambra state government, the reason why they were employed, that they make sure that they put it to work. I know the Anambra state government is ready to pay them and is ready to do their work. So they should also be willing to put the work and make sure that at the end of the day, the kids and Anambra state as a whole will benefit from employing them.
Really, the teacher put more effort. Because now, put more effort. And I know a competition, can win. Because a competition now, Anambra, bang as because of lack of teachers. So now, I put more effort in the run. Mala interview, many places.
Anambra teachers, I got them more. I got my ago. Upo sobra kusika aga. Hama ganogi. Umu akoha. Wike. And then it is a good example. It's an answer from our pop the Aponogi. Kafka and the teacher. Or the Panogi. Again, I got to see Hoffman. That way we're an all the teacher. I got Bob for Fuma Hapo, the qualified people, because you were. What the normal qualification for teaching. So I'm not saying you ask the Hoffman. That was the obvious offer you could see after what. Or Mumba, I got the part of rural. Yeah. So, and then move off. Now, a bump. Now, you open our episode. I got it. I know where the government. It's the government of Anambra State where they have. West I got you open Anambra State government. So I got it. How they pay the government. But it's a hundred evidence. So it's a hundred evidence. Now I talk about mass may have pay. They're very high. See, I got a local government. You see.
Well, the street walk where people are talking about the importance of education in commemoration of the International Education Day. And we are with our guest in the studio. Please, what do you want to add to what we just said, or if there's any other thing you want to contribute before we round up the show?
Okay.
Was there any case of bribery in this your recruitment process, your 5,000 recruitment, 8,000 recruitments, selection and stuff like that? Any case?
Thank you very much. I will always appreciate our governor again, because the recruitment is merit-based. But you know, we are in Nigeria, that any opportunity that comes around, some people would like to use it to better themselves. So we heard about the bribery, some people taking bribe and giving some people appointment letters. We thank God, we found out and we took up the case. We went to the law enforcement agency, we went to the police, and we lodged the complaint. And the case is still on. We discovered that the individual was collecting 40,000 from candidates, would-be teachers, who maybe didn't pass or were not shortlisted. We're collecting 40,000. At first, we had it in the PPSSC. Then later, somebody came to Asubeb to tell me that and gave us the phone number and the account number where the money was being paid. So we went and lodged the complaint and started following up. It's still on, because you know, in Nigeria, police matter. Today, we paid some money and we are still following it up. We discovered that the account was opened in Owerri. We've gotten the name of the person, but we need to block the account. Okay. So
but
the case is still on.
Actually a case
Yes,
like that, where somebody
there was a case.
opened an account and was collecting money for people.
Yes.
Anambra educational system or what?
The person is not.
Okay.
But we don't know whether at the end of the day it will be linked to us.
Okay, so the investigation is still on right now. Okay, and we get to hear at the end of the day what the outcome.
But the truth is that it's not from us.
Okay.
It's not from us, because they said they were collecting for the chairman.
Oh, for the chairman.
Yeah. So it is not from us. And that is the more reason we will follow it up.
And none of all those people that paid into the account, none of them were recruited.
They will not be recruited
because
now.
their names are not in the
Because
list.
their names are not.
No, that's what we want to establish.
No, they were not.
Okay. All right. Well, we want to say a very big thank you to both of you. Thank you so much, Dr. Vera Nkiru Wadinobi, for joining us on the show this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And also to you, Professor Nkechi Ikeju. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's it on the show. We want to say a very big thank you to you for being part of the show. Thank you to our state governor for the recruitment of 5,000 teachers. Thank you, Anambra. Thank you all stakeholders, because we know that all of you, because from what we have said here, we all put our hands together to see how we can make the educational sector in Anambra State greater, not just great, but greater. My name is Chidima Oramwa. See you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you for being with us. Tomorrow we'll definitely have it again.
Thank you.